Hi folks, Tim here, and welcome back to From 8 to 38, the Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur. Well, we had a couple questions come up after some of our more recent videos, and one of them it was actually a phone call I took earlier today, was do we give discounts? And I'll expand that a little bit. The person who called is a friend of mine who is working on building up his landscaping business, and he recently quoted a bunch of different jobs for someone, and I guess they were called back and said, well, if we bundle these jobs together, will you give us a discount? And I told him kind of across the board that answer for the most part is no. There's various instances where the answer would be yes, we do give a discount, but I've had questions like that quite a bit come up in our business as well. It'll be a new client, they call us, you know, hey, can you come look at these jobs that we have that we'd like to do? And many times it will be, we want to do some plantings, we want to do a gravel driveway resurface, maybe we want to do some hardscape work, and some, let's say, garden bed maintenance along with mowing. So it'll be very all-inclusive as far as all these services that we offer. So we'll have a lot of different bids out there on the same property. And many times what we do is we have different bids. I don't have very many seasonal properties as far as we do everything all season for a set rate, which works well sometimes, and other times it kind of burns us. There's times where if we had a seasonal rate, let's say like last year, where we had a very, very dry summer and fall, we could have been collecting money every month without mowing, versus a year like this year where we've had an enormous amount of rain, other than early on in the year, but since then we've had an enormous amount of rain, and we've been mowing lawns once a week, that usually starting the 4th of July or the week after the 4th of July, we mow every 2 weeks. So, you know, sometimes it can go either way with those seasonal quotes. Now, to get back to, do we offer discounts? So I told him the short answer is no, we don't really offer discounts, and we discussed it a little bit more after that. Again, that's the short answer. So if I bid the lawn at $100 a cut, and we bid the mulching and weeding and bed prep, let's say at the beginning of the year, for $1,500 or $2,000, whatever the case may be, it doesn't really help us at all to give a discount on the lawn or on that bed prep work, because it's all been bid at a certain rate. I know how much an hour I need to make mowing lawns, and I know how much an hour we need to charge so that we make money on the bed prep work. I know how much mulch is going to take, stuff like that. So in that case, no, we don't offer a discount. And I know sometimes that's hard for people. I understand it. I understand many times we ask for discounts. You know, when you go into a car dealership, you'll ask for a discount, or can you lower the sticker price, whatever the case may be. So I guess you could say, well, there's no real harm in asking. And I could see the benefit in that, or the potential savings in that, if the person offers to give you a discount after you ask. Now, the time when I might give a discount, and this is what I told my buddy, is let's say we did a bid on a driveway resurface that needs some ditch work, and we are also going to be doing some planting on the property where I'm going to bring in a small machine to dig the holes. Well, if we're going to be doing some ditching and we're going to be doing some planting, then I'm going to have, at least theoretically, the same machine, or make the same machine work for both jobs. So I don't have to bring the machine there twice to the same property for two different jobs. I can bring the machine once. So in a case where we're only bringing the machine to the property once rather than twice, we can offer a discount. It's not really a big blanket discount. You know, I'm not going to take 20% off the cost of the job, let's say, But what I'll do is I'll say, well, you know, we had bid X amount of money, because it takes time, and it takes the trailer being on the road, the truck being on the road, and it's also lost billable time elsewhere to have to move a machine. So if we can move a machine once for 2 jobs, then I can take that second machine removing cost out of their estimate. So if we're doing a $5,000 job there and a $6,000 job for $11,000 for the 2, and they're willing to do that, then I could say, all right, we're only going to have to move the machine there once. So yes, I will take out whatever I determine that the machine being on site, or the moving of the machine, is worth to me. And sometimes with some of these smaller jobs, I really only need the machine on site for a half a day. So if we can do a half a day of ditch work and a half a day of planting, then it makes a lot of sense, and it might lower that price a little bit more. But as far as that goes, not really a discount. It's just a, well, we only have to move the machine here once, so it is a cost savings for that. So a time when we actually do offer a discount is something that I call an early signing discount. And we really only offer it to people, or in particular commercial lots where we do snow work or winter work. So I like to have all of our contracts for winter signed by October 1st. It really helps us know what we've got going on in the winter, because we have all of our driveways, and I would say almost exclusively our driveways are based off of a per push price. So if your driveway is bid at $80, that's bid at $80 a push. The commercial lot, for billing for the property owner, they really like having a set rate all winter long, and it's something that we do. The one place we do is $5,000, and they write 4 $1,200 checks to us, and they're a non-profit, so there's no sales tax that we have to worry about, but they write 4 $1,250 checks to us over the course of the year, and that hits their $5,000. So from a budgeting standpoint, they know that December, January, February, and March, or however we have it set up, they need to write the same check, the same amount, every single month on the same date to us, to keep us working there and coming back, things like that. So what we'll do, many times, we will do, like I said, an early signing discount. And it can be a 0.5%, 1%, 2, 4, 5, whatever works. And what we did this year is we offered a 5% early signing discount on a couple different properties, and I think one of them was maybe a 5.5% early signing discount. But it was where we said, if you sign by September 30th and the check has been received by September 30th, because we charge a retainer, and that retainer I'll go into in a minute. But we said, if you sign a contract and we have the check in our office by September 30th, we will do a 5% early signing discount. And by them doing that, they know that they've got us locked in, our word that we're going to be there, we're going to maintain their property. And it's really, really helpful for me to know who we have that we're servicing for the snow removal this year. And I like to know early, because if I have in my mind that we're going to have the exact same lots, let's say, that we had last year, and it's in my mind that we're going to do that, and all of a sudden I find out 3 weeks into October that, oh, this one big lot you had last year, you're not going to have this year, it's really hard for us to stockpile any kind of materials. It's hard for us to know what kind of labor we're going to have to deal with for the coming winter. So that early signing discount is 5% or whatever that percentage is off of their cost for the year. But to me, I look at it and say, if it's a $500 or $600 discount or a $250 discount, whatever it is on that property, it's a peace of mind for me knowing that they have signed with us. We know that we have seasonal contracts. We know that we are getting paid every single month by people we've worked for in the past, and that's really important too, because we're not learning new properties, we're not learning new billing techniques that different companies require. We know that if we want to work for them again, things went well last year, or at least things didn't go well, we've come to an agreement to help things improve. So that early signing discount for us is really important, really key, and it helps get things situated for the year, which is really nice. All right, now let's take a minute and talk about that retainer. So I mentioned the retainer that they send, and this is a little bit something that I learned that worked really well for us. So that money from the retainer goes straight into our business savings account, and that is kind of a backup plan, as it were, for our winter money. Now, early on, we had talked about budgeting and figuring out how to make the business profitable all winter and having a winter savings and all these other things that we do. By having that money in the savings account, it does a couple things. They have basically invested in our business for the winter. So they, with their retainer, have guaranteed that they are going to go with us for this winter work. If they don't and they back out, we've got the retainer already. So that part is really nice. The thing that I really use the retainer for is we take that money, we put it in the bank account. Like I said, I put it in the savings account, and we use the retainer money to buy materials to work on that property. So a good for instance with that is we have a retainer from the one place that we work, and it came in the other day, and basically the retainer covers the amount of material, bulk material, I have to buy to deal with the sidewalks, because we use calcium on the sidewalks because they're all poured concrete. So that covers the sidewalk ice melt expense, and it covers probably about half of the parking lot ice melt expense as well. So it's nice to have that money sitting there ready to go. So I deposited the retainer a couple days ago. I put it in the business savings account, and when I purchase this ice melt for the property, I actually take that out of the checking account, and I actually try to leave that retainer money in the savings account as a kind of a backup, and I try not to use that all winter long if we can. It just sits there, collects the little bit of interest that a savings account collects, but it's a great backup for equipment failure. So it's kind of an insurance policy against equipment failure, right? We rely very, very heavily on our trucks. So that money sitting there is enough to replace a transmission or whatever the case may be that we need to use it for, as far as emergency stuff. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But that's what I take that retainer for. It is there so that we are available. We agree to the contract terms. The retainer sits there. And the other thing that I like to have that retainer there for is it's sitting there. We don't spend it. We leave it there, because on the off chance that some heavy damage happens to the property, you know, you're plowing, you're going to catch a little blacktop once in a while, you're going to catch a little gravel once in a while. That's normal. It happens. No matter how careful you are, it happens. But if we accidentally slip up and plow through a garage door, let's say, thankfully that's never happened, but if something like that happens, I have insurance for that, but I also have that money in the savings account that we can write a check, get it fixed instantly, and then I can deal with my insurance afterwards. So it's a great buffer to be able to keep that. And you never know what kind of winter you're going to have. And that's part of the gamble of doing a seasonal contract, is you don't really know what kind of winter you're going to have. You know, last winter was a really weird winter. We had a very mild winter last year, but we still almost hit our average number of events as far as a precipitation event on a commercial lot, because they have a zero tolerance. So if a snowflake is in the air, we're dealing with it. We had a lot more slush and ice last year that we had to deal with. But those are a couple thoughts on retainers and discounts. A friend of mine had asked about that. So a couple thoughts on retainers and discounts. So thank you for watching from 8 to 38, the Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur. If you have any suggestions as far as what topics you would like us to cover in these videos, please be sure to comment or reach out to us at our email address, which is all over our page. It's in the description of this video, and it's also in the About section of Elmendorf Acres. That's elmendorfacres@gmail.com. So again, any suggestions, any topics you'd like covered, please comment or send us an email. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.